What's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here with another episode of Battle Pirates Crew's No Quarter. I've called this one, Why is Everyone So Crabby? Because it seems like the last several days I've run across lots of crabby pirates. So, are you guys finding that also to be the case?
Indeed. Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
I think it could be the fact that we're all still stuck in the house.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think the quarantine lockdown is starting to get to some people. But anyway, let's see. Tonight with us, we got Jolly Rogers.
Hey, guys.
We got Derpy.
Hello.
We got Simba.
Hello.
And we got Ross.
Good evening, everyone.
So I guess the first thing to say is, for those of you who don't know, the Kicks employee bases are back out for their second round. So this is a chance to go out and scarf up some bounty for those of you who prefer to use those. From what I've been hearing, I think, though, that, like, gatekeepers are back in, like, the lower level ones now, too. Like the 96. I think that's what you were telling me earlier, Golly.
What was that?
I said, weren't you telling me earlier that there were gatekeepers in the lower ones, like the 96?
Yeah, the 90. Yeah, the 96 has two gatekeepers. One by the third portal, and one by, I think, some of the turrets.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so they just put it back. They put it back to the way it was before they pulled the guard out totally. Gotcha.
Sure.
Yeah, the 142s. Oh.
You were trying to say something, Ross?
No. I was just kind of adding in. I do know that they have returned with the new defender ships in them. So be aware. And I think that I know that the 109 also does have them. So I think the 109 had them before. Also, nothing new there.
Nah, Simba, sorry. Let me get Simba real quick because I kind of cut her off too. So.
Okay, the 142s have two of the gatekeepers. One is, I want to say, right past the first portal, and the other one is right behind the last portal.
Cool.
And 3 Gorgons.
So how's everybody doing in their bounty? Like where we at points wise? I personally, I'm at 210,000 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm up to 260.
I'm at 204.
I'm at 120,000, so I guess I'm in last place.
Well, I mean, that's okay. When we look at the leaderboards, we're all way in last place. Like number one is like number one's over 2 million right now. Why on earth you would need over 2 million bounty? I have no idea.
Is the leaderboard prize even that good right now?
It's a bunch of Conqueror tokens.
Conqueror or Defender?
Conqueror, which made no sense to me since the prize was a Defender. I thought,
yeah,
the prize would have been Defender tokens, but that would make too much sense for Kick's Eye. So, I mean, what's everybody going for prize-wise? I mean, like, I know I've got all 3 of the gatekeepers, the weapon, all the build and structure tokens.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I get? A couple back things I was missing. Like, I got another Bastion seawall because I only had one before. Now I have at least 2. I might get another one. I haven't decided yet. I picked up an extra trencher because I didn't have my max number. I think that's mainly it. A couple other oddball things here and there, but nothing I can remember right off the top of my head.
I mean, I'm pretty much getting everything you just mentioned. I did get one skin But I have heard that there's also a badge if you have all the skins, so that's what's kind of encouraging me to hit right now. But I wasn't sure.
Ross, what are you picking up?
I'm picking up all the PvP, anything anything there is PvP needed. I'm finding that's for me it's about 140,000, I guess is what I about have. So just the new items and PvP related things. I'm actually not even totally interested in the structure. I will get them in time, but primarily I'm just that is it. I made sure I loaded up on the decimator cannon. I believe I didn't have the max level of those, so that was of interest to me because I did read in the past postings that they are looking at increasing the damage on the decimator cannon. That's one word that's listed. So I currently do not use that in my design, but it's going to be one of those on that I might be using in the future. So
Did they say the decimator cannon?
I think the decimator was listed with both cannons.
No, it was the Farsight and the Desolator.
Oh darn! I got it wrong.
And the Desolator, I believe, is the weapon that's on the Warhound, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, then I totally got it wrong. I just figured they said the Farsight and the decimator.
Yeah, you would have thought. It was kind of weird the way they put them together like that. So unless there was some error that they haven't corrected yet, because it's still, I just looked actually, it still does say the Farsight and the Desolator.
So okay, so I could just figured it was the decimator since they listed it with the Farsight. Yeah, then scratch that.
Yeah, Cuddle's correcting you in chat too. Why he's not on here, I'm not sure, but whatever. Simba, what are you for? Have you gotten?
I've gotten all three of the oh god, the Defender Hall. Anything PvP I've gotten. I'm actually going after a skin now. I'm almost there.
A skin? Which skin has your eye?
Give me a second. I'm trying to make sure I can hide exit here.
Let's get back to that. I'm going to go down and ask everybody which skin they prefer out of all of them. But before we do that, I want to ask Derpy real quick, like what all he's shooting for and what he's going to try to get.
Well, I got the three gatekeepers and the weapon, and then a couple other pieces of tech I was missing. Some of the V8 armors, V8 plate armors, and then the structure build tokens would be nice to get too.
Yeah. And I appreciate the fact that you're wearing a mask while you're on here today.
I put it on because of what you said.
Yeah, well, the rest of us were all too lazy to do it. So I'd actually done one for somebody, but he's not here today. So okay, skins for the gatekeeper. Which skins do you guys like the best? My first choice would be the Celestial one, but only if all that stuff that's inside that little globe on the top spins around and moves around. If it just sits there and doesn't do anything, I'd probably go for like the Engineer one.
I went with the Engineer.
I like the Engineer. I'm actually claiming it right now.
Ross, do you have a favorite?
No, I actually don't. I mean, I'm sorry. They're all okay. The Engineers probably, I guess, has my eye, but I don't think there's a bad one in the group. I'll say that. They're good looking skins. I'm not a skin person, though. And I just don't think they'll be if they'll be all good on the lead. Then okay.
All right. Derpy, you got a favorite one?
Not especially. Yeah, the engineer golden one seems to be a bit better because the Kickstarter employee bases seem to have some of the skins, and the celestial skin doesn't seem to move around like you were saying.
Oh, well, that's pretty freaking lame, though. I might actually just go with the hive one, just because everybody else is going to have the engineer one, so I'm going to be different one.
You gotta be quirky.
I got to be a contrarian.
Well, in all honesty, if I can get all three of them, and I end up having three in my base, I'll probably just put one of each skin on.
Right. So, people weren't happy when the employees bases first came out and subs were all over the place, were they?
No, they weren't.
There was
I mean, we expected that, didn't we?
Well, I think, and I pointed this out last bounty, and they didn't seem to get the hint then, but apparently they got it this bounty when a whole lot of other people started complaining about it too. It was one thing when you would put the new stuff in before it was available in the upper end bases, so we could actually get a look to see what it did. But there's no reason for you to have to be putting them down in the lower end tiers, dude. I mean, it's just it's not necessary, you know. I mean, the like the level 95 bases and the 94, which they end up pulling totally. That's where the little people who aren't quite ready. Well, I guess you would say the mid-level people, the point people who are above doing most of your opponent bases, or don't want to farm them for such little points. And then, but who can't quite do the bigger bases for the Kickstarter employee bases. Right. So why do you want to be cutting off that sweet spot for those mid players that you're trying to get to grow? And I said that last month when they started putting some of the, new heavy turrets in there and whatnot. But, and I guess, high levels for the employee bases is really relative, I suppose, because they all pay out the same amount of points, basically.
Yeah, I think you just got it there. I don't think the levels mean a whole lot on these things.
Other than just by the simple fact of it's pretty obvious that the higher levels that you go in most of the kick spaces, the more difficult the base becomes.
I'm not sure that's quite true. I find the 142 to be the second easiest and the 109 to be the second hardest.
Okay, but what's the easiest?
That's the 95.
And that's the lowest level, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
But the hardest is the 109.
I don't know, because I know a lot of people where I saw people doing the 109 for almost no damage. I guess it just depends on what fleet you use and how well you do it.
Yeah, and because I do hit the 109, and I've even tried it since it has it has 3. By the way, it has 3 new hulls in there, so it's kind of a challenge right now, but it's possible. I just did it.
High evade breachers, just take them in there. Out range fuckers.
Well, if you just go slow, that's the first time through, and how many times you're going to hit these targets, you're going to actually hit them a lot. So just one time through, go slow, Mike, and see where they're at is what I propose. Kill them.
Even like the 2 being in the 96, I didn't find all that difficult. You just take out the 3 gates, back off a little bit, wait for the sub to go underwater, go sit on top of it, kill it, run back to where the other one is, sit on top of it, kill it, and then just keep going.
It's a little damaging. A little challenging. Adds a little bit more to the target. I don't think it's overwhelming. But I would I totally agree with you that I think there just needs to be a lower target for the mid-level players to grind on that it's doable, for them. They're going to have a hard time with with this new hull in the base, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some getting used to and some timing to get down there. Actually, there are certain things they could have done to make these bases a lot more difficult than what they already are now. So I'm glad they didn't do that. And no, I'm not going to say what that thing is because they can go in and change it right away.
But they did up the, they're still out. That's the good thing. You know, they do have the guards in them now. So they aren't for everybody now, but they have returned. So the possibility, the high point payouts are there. And now you get to practice on these attacks against a computer instead of having somebody calling you names.
Yeah. And I mean, and that was one of the things I was actually a little bit disappointed when they totally pulled the guard out of the 95 because I was like, oh, at least that was giving me a little bit of practice, like dealing with these subs and timing and whatnot. And now I didn't have that opportunity anymore. But now that they're back in the 96s, I have that opportunity again.
And I think that's a great thing because we want to encourage base hitting. Then we need a stepping stone for those players that aren't, base hitters, and they want to be, and or trying new things and trying it out and learning. We need these. We need like different levels of the employee bases.
I mean, not everybody even now has their dock fully upgraded, so some are still running only 3 Warhounds.
Yeah, I don't think they're hitting these.
I'm sure you can do the 96 with 3 Warhounds.
Yeah, you can.
Oh wow!
I got 46 minutes damage on it, and other people are probably doing way better.
You got how much damage on it?
46 minutes damage with 3 Warhounds. Not even just my first try on it when they came back.
So, since we're talking about the subs too, what do you guys? Who's got them? Who's built them? Who has them in your base? What do you think? I know I have 2 built and in my base. I personally love them.
Yeah, I'm same with you. I've got 2 built in the base, and I mean, I really haven't been hit, but I mean, I like them in there.
I have 1 so far. It's just putting the last piece of armor on it, so it's still in the shipyard. But I'm still building. That's how I am.
I've got 1 building.
It looks like it's got 2 hours.
Yeah, I've got 1 already built and in.
Have you been hit since you put it in? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I like it too, I have to say. I mean, and quite honestly, my advice is that from the PvP briefing that Saltwater put out, it does look like we could very well be losing Warhounds out of our guards in like a month. So
Warhounds, we haven't had a Warhound.
Howlers.
Yeah, why do I keep saying that?
I have no idea.
Me either. So it's a very good idea to start playing without them now, in my opinion. So when you're forced to not have them, you kind of aren't like left with you throwing your hands up in the air saying, "I don't know what to do now."
And that'd be me because I'm not a fan of the gatekeeper. I mean, I'll be the one person. It's not a bad haul statistically and whatever. Tax, I'm just not a sub fan. So it's nothing personal against that haul. It's just, I never have been that way for my defense. So I'm hanging on, but I see it coming also, and I'm aware of it. So I am building them myself, and I'm hoping that other defender options come too. So because with these ROE changes, who knows? We just don't know what's going on. Going to go down.
Yeah.
I'd almost bet money we're going to start seeing upgrades for the Warhound coming soon.
I'd be willing to take that bet. I
Yep.
don't think we're going to see him anytime soon. I think we'll actually probably see all the T9 Conqueror hulls before we start seeing upgrades for Conquerors.
Damnation.
And I see they're talking over in chat too about why it has a boosted depth charge range. You do get some extremely interesting numbers when you start putting Piranha 4 depth charges on and start doing the math and seeing what your damage per projectile speed or per projectile is. You get some really interesting numbers out of that. The only reason I didn't go with at least one that was that way is because the limited range is why I didn't. But you definitely get some interesting numbers out of that thing when you sit down and do the math. I mean, it's granted the numbers aren't as high as the corrosive build, but then again, you don't have to be surface for the depth charges to fire. So
Right.
So what else is going on? We got 2 TLCs, right?
Judgment Day and the Hyperion one.
Yeah, the one for the Punishers. Yeah, the one for the Punishers. I've slowly been trying to work on when I get a chance. And yes, Carl, the Piranha 4 does fire underwater. That's why he came with the Lurker. Since the Lurker doesn't surface for the entire battle, it would have been a totally useless weapon if it didn't fire underwater. I got confirmation about that way back when it first came out. So I think the way it works is like the Piranha depth charges fire underwater, but like your Gatling gun, say depth charge types, they don't fire underwater. So
That's a kind of an odd animal. What's everybody at for points? Because I know I'm looking good. I'm right at 150,000.
I thought we already did that again. But we can do. We already went over points, but we can do it again.
Did I say how many points I had?
I thought you did, but
I thought you did too.
That's awesome. I know I mentioned that I got everything. I was wanting the PvP prizes, but I thought that there might be some crazy scores here, and I just didn't know.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was at 210.
Okay, so everybody's at normal. Okay, I just am looking at these leaderboards, and just in amazement.
Yeah, I mean, why would you need 2 million points? Why?
Bragging rights. They can spend the most money.
Bragging rights. What? I mean, what kind of rights is that? You need money management classes? But I guess. I mean, I can't say. I guess so. There's not that many. There's just not enough prizes. It always baffles me.
I guess some people need their 15 minutes of fame, And I guess that 15 minutes is worth a whole lot of money to some people.
Right? I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, there really are some impressive scores. But I'm seeing a lot of base hitting. So I'm happy with that. I know we were moved on to the thing, but I'm happy with the base hitting. I'm concerned about the ROE changes. So
yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit, talking over that post, because I don't think we've had a chance to touch on that yet. So we'll talk about that here directly in a little bit. But how many of you guys have been hitting other player bases while Bounty was going on? I know I've hit some. I haven't hit a ton.
I've hit a ton of them.
yeah.
I probably hit, I don't know, 10, 15 maybe.
No, they're really been my go-to.
Which, quite honestly, for me, 10 to 15 is a ton.
That is a lot. No, really. I mean, more than any other bounty, correct?
Except maybe last bounty. I think last bounty I hit a bunch too. I know Rum Runner probably was not happy when he logged on today and saw that I flattened his base. I figured I would have gotten a message or a return visit from somebody in SDS7, but no luck at this point.
Yeah, I've been hitting probably about 10, 15 bases over the last 3 over in Bounty 2, so something's working. I'm not sure if it's repair tokens that let me just do a bunch in a row or what, but I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, heck, I even had the red domes. I love it. It's a really good thing when you get the red ones.
Oh yeah.
Now, see, I try to spread my love. I don't pick on individual people. I try to spread my love and hit all kinds of different people.
No, I do too. I just go from the locator. I don't even nothing but the locator. So when I go red, I know I'm actually spreading love. Because I'm not doing it. I'm not picking it. And then I start seeing red on the map. I'm like, oh yeah.
But see, that's interesting too, because if you're going for like what's giving you the most bounty, that shows that those people are working hard getting bounty too. So, it's like it seems like there's a lot of people out being able to get quite a bit of bounty this time around.
Yeah, good on them. Good on them. Yeah. No, it really right off the bat, it seemed like a hitters fest in my sector at least. We've got some insectoring going on, so it's made just a blast. Great time for the bounty.
All right, so I guess if you want, we can highlight some of the things that Saltwater talked about in the ROE thing.
Yes, that'd be good.
I guess the first thing he started talking about was in regards to metal dumping. Basically now, there's going to be a penalty if you buy a bubble. If you have more than 550 metals, you're going to go down to 550 metals if you buy a 28-day bubble.
Yeah, I guess that's not metal dumping. That's metal, hoarding.
Oh, right. And I don't think he maybe understands the difference unless he's just saying metal dumping as far as after you get them dumping them on a base that's the warehouse or whatever. Maybe that's what he is thinking when he says metal dumping.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I agree with that.
I'm not sure it fixes the entire problem, but then again, I'm not sure how you would.
I think it takes care of part of it, but I agree. It doesn't take care of the other end, or the metal dumping.
Right. Yeah, where you go and basically fail in a bunch of easy bases, get your metals down to single, double digit, or even 0 in some cases, and then that way you can hit everybody in the game for 49.
Right, and that doesn't do it doesn't even address that.
No, not at all.
And so it's like fixing half a problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. But then again, I'm not sure how you would fix that other half, really.
Well,
I should put a limit on how many metals you can get rid of in a time frame.
I'm just kind of looking forward to the having the one hit.
See, it's all over the place for me. Some days I guess I am. Then I'm like, gee, my style of hitting is going to be gone.
Yeah.
I'm really a fan of the reading a base and reading designs and seeing what it's going to take to pick it apart. I enjoy it.
See, I would be okay with one prep, one hit, but I'm not sure how they would draw a line between what was a prep and what was a hit, considering we're not going to have percentages anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess moving on, changes that they've already started working on. They've tweaked, some base turrets, which were causing debuff problems. i.e., the Wendigo, the Cannibal Wendigo, the Cryo Adder, and the Glacial.
They did.
So,
They already did.
I believe in the testing environment they already did, because I think this is all stuff that they're talking about that they've changed on the test environment, not live in game yet.
Right. So it's coming.
All right. They increased the damage output of the Farsight and the Desolator. They reduced the survivability of high evade U2 Dreadnoughts. And they removed the reload bonus from the Subjugator's U1 aura, which is interesting because it doesn't get that aura at U1. It's actually built into it from the beginning, if I'm not mistaken.
I can find out.
I believe it was down in the special abilities area. But anyway, thoughts on those changes?
Yeah, I didn't know the. I really didn't know the Zealoth cannon thing was lacking in power. Did you think it needed it? A buff? Did everybody think it needed a buff?
Yeah.
The Warhound cannon?
Or what got a buff? Diesel.
The Warhound and the Farsight. The long range ballistic tier 9 one, and then like I said, the Warhound cannon.
Oh, it's the Warhound cannon. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, do we think the Warhound cannon needs a buff? I mean, more than that.
I'm wondering if that's because they saw people were going more towards the explosive side of things, where they wanted people to be more interested in the main weapon. Would be my only thoughts of why. Maybe they thought they felt they needed to do that. I have some concerns about them going back and tweaking really old turrets, though, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's bummer. I mean, I get it. It's broke, right? Here's the thing, and I understand, and I know it is broke, but I believe they built the game around those broken items. They continued we progressed around those.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah, I mean, and certain ones are broken way more than others.
yes.
In my personal opinion. I mean, I don't know what you guys have experienced. I haven't found the Glacial by itself to be that broken.
No.
I think the Wendigo and Cannibal Wendigo, in my opinion, for sure, something had to be done about those. And I think, and my personal opinion, the D104N launcher that goes on boats, they probably need to do something about that too.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing that too, but it's that's an old one. But you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like, and there again, it's the debuff more than anything, because in all actuality, that debuff that's on them should not be impacting Warhounds the way it is. Because I know, like, if you start getting several stacks of that debuff on your Warhounds, they melt you. They absolutely totally melt.
No, they can, yeah. With the Wendigo stacking, they can stop your fire,
Yeah.
and that's not supposed to happen. You know. You slow your fire, you know what I mean? But there's never to a point where any hull should be able to be stopped. And I believe in certain scenarios that could be possible. I wish it currently was in my base, but it's not. But I believe that that scenario is possible. Okay.
So another thing he pops down there, and we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, is how he is currently looking at the impact of Howlers in the defense fleet. That's going to be an interesting one because I know a lot of people are not going to take that well if their howlers get taken away from their base guard.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. I'm a bummer. It's going to be me. I'm that guy. I'll hate it. I'll truly hate it. I'll have a more than half my guard to change that I like. But it is what it is.
So what I'm truly hoping that happens is right around the time that they are like, hey, you can't have howlers in your base guard anymore, we get a surface defender that's worth a damn. Is what I'm hoping, that the two things kind of coincide at the same time. But that's probably a pretty big pipe dream that I'm looking for.
That'd be great. I'd be interested in a surface defender myself. Serious. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, the biggest thing I'm seeing with this change is that the current bases, top bases, right now you kind of need to prep them to get into them.
Yes.
In today's game, am I correct on that one there?
For sure.
So when you take away prepping, and you can only do it in one hit, and now we've got a new guard. How are you going to get into bases?
You're not.
Okay.
But however, like currently, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Pretty much for the most part right now, when people are getting prepped, what's getting prepped? It's their howlers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they take the howlers out of the equation, your ability to one-hit a base probably significantly increases at that point, correct?
Yeah, if they take them out, which might happen, might not happen.
Well, for him to say that he's looking at the impact of howlers in the defense fleet pretty much tells me that it's going to happen. Because if it wasn't really good odds of it happening, he probably wouldn't have even mentioned it.
No, here's the thing is it happened. Okay, so we had an update and they removed it happened already. You couldn't I was on the game and I couldn't.
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
I couldn't because the howlers.
Right, that was at the exact same point when we were able to upgrade the all the buildings that wasn't supposed to be out yet.
Right, and so we know that we do know that this is in the works. I mean, it's more than just a thought; it's planned because it happened.
It's just a matter of when they're going to implement it.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, I see Shark saying about how they prep the 3 gates and run past. That with the introduction to gatekeepers, that's going to be really hard for them to do anymore. Because like I got one of my gates prepped out today, and then the guy came back in, and almost instantaneously my gate was back up to 85% because of that gatekeeper.
Right.
What if you weren't online though?
It doesn't matter during bounty. Your base automatically starts repairing.
Oh,
you have to kill the portals dead in the prep, and then they will not. And that's the truth. And that's true.
If you're online though, they automatically start. It automatically starts repairing though, right?
During bounty.
I thought it did on live too.
No, only during bounty. So only during bounty is that luxury there. And
on live, you actually have to hit the start repair button.
Yes.
But I think most people do that if they're online anyway, right?
Yes. But it will be still possible when you entirely kill the portal. So There is.
Just real quick, Chuck or Carl, no, the gatekeeper doesn't lose health when it's repairing. It's magic. It takes the health from nowhere and transfers it to your building.
Correct. It's not really the word transfer is a bad word. It should be just, I don't know, magic gives magic. I mean, serious.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were playing a sci-fi game, not a fantasy game, but whatever.
You know what I mean? But the transfer in the past is not what this is. So that's I was fooled also. It's not. It's just gifted out of nowhere, out of the air. It's returning its health. So a rejuvenator is more like it. It rejuvenates. It doesn't transfer because it's not losing anything.
I'm
Right.
telling you, it's magic, dude. It's magic.
Right. And so yeah. The old style where you could prep down a you prep down the building then to take some damage away from it. That doesn't work. It loses no health.
Yeah. And then, of course, in a month or whatever, you're not going to be able to prep at all anyway. So.
Right.
Yeah, because I did get that confirmed from Saltwater.
Oh, we got what confirmed?
That it's going to be a one hit, and then there is criteria for winning, and the base will automatically repair if that
Right.
criteria for win is not met.
Right.
Yeah, the criteria for win, of course, is those buildings, the warehouse, the Great Hall, the radio tower, the outpost, and
Yeah.
I can't remember if there was anything else or if I got them all.
I think you got them all.
And you'll have 3 chances. Before lockout for a certain amount of time.
All right.
From what he told me, it's a one hit.
No, that's not what Ross is saying, though. You can go in and try it, and if you fail and the base resets, you can go in and try it again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can try it a third time, but then you'll be locked out from hitting it for a certain amount of time.
Gotcha.
So you can't just
Keep a guy tied up forever.
Forever, right. And fail.
So, but he's saying from what's going on in testing right now, people are saying, it's okay. It's pretty good. So you're saying people are capable of winning in a single hit, and defenders are capable of surviving against a variety of fleets. So things are looking pretty good. But this is in like a month is what he's looking at. This is, I think, the third time that we've been pushed back at this point. Which, as long as it works when it actually comes out, that's fine. I don't mind it being pushed back a couple times.
It's just really encouraging in that they're at least taking the time to test it and not just throw it at us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Carl, they've said at this point there's not going to be more land, so I wouldn't hold my breath for that if I were you.
Mm-mm.
But, I mean, quite honestly, if they take prepping away, I'm not sure. In my personal opinion, I don't know that we really need more land, as long as they're taking prepping away. Do you guys agree or feel differently?
Oh, I agree.
I totally agree.
Totally agree.
You'll have a lot more land if you just think about it honest. I just don't need to give everything away, but you'll have more land in your own imagination with the availability, since the bubble pad is not going to be there. Okay, so certain buildings are not going to be the important ones to protect any longer, or certain other buildings are. So that's how it's going to change base styles, in my opinion.
Yeah, you won't have to have literally this design that pretty much everybody has right now. where it's just that straight up the middle with like two little things to make you have to do two little turns, a couple gates in there, and then the island smack dab and everything because you can't have it get prepped out from 162 billion range or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. And I hope that's the case. I hope we do have options. I don't know. If I don't see, I see very limited options, even moving forward on the rules of engagement, if we are not given more defenders. Seriously. That's what I think it's up to. I think that if we're stuck with the limited defenders, then we're going to see copycat bases.
But we kind of already do see that.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, almost like anybody who's, I don't want to say anybody who's worth their salt, but like a lot of people are running basically what comes down to the exact same base design.
I mean, there's
Like,
little tweaks here and there.
They're like, oh, mine's different because I put a little channel between the island and the thing, or mine's different because I have my twists at different places. But basically, the design is the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like an S and an OP, and with 3 portals. I'm one of them. I know. I mean, it's just so I'd like to see me be able to maybe write my name and have that be effective. I don't know. You know, a maze. I don't know. Just something different.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I sort of agree that. Well, let me see how I'm going to say this. Carl's saying more land would mean more creative designs because basically, whatever design you have to make sure there's something that can't be sniped out by a basilisk. So you have to have like a 10-tile buffer still around a central island, essentially.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a basilisk fleet can. I don't know quite how it will work, but
here's the gig. You don't have to have the OP in the center anymore. What's the smallest building that they're going to, you know what I mean? You could put that in the center.
Radio tower.
There's some creative design right there.
I caught it when they first started talking about this.
Right. I mean,
tower is the building that I am going to defend.
So therefore, there's some tiles right there. So there, you know, it's some things change. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it'd be odd. It's gonna be odd with the OP on the rim. Who knows if that's
right?
You know, if that's an idea. Who knows if we're even scattered along with the square base is even a square base. Maybe we just have a maze. I'm not sure.
Yeah, things are definitely going to be interesting.
I am not in testing, so if it goes extremely poorly, horrible, I am the messenger. I am the messenger.
Yeah, if it goes extremely horrible, I will just sit back and laugh.
Right, because I'm the messenger. I know, true, because I'm waiting for it. Also, I want it to go well because I'm not a negative in general person. I want it to go positive. I want it to go well. This is my game and our game, and we all want it to go very well. But if it goes poorly, I hope we have another options. or plan B.
Let me see if I can see something.
I guess we can talk about BP next week.
Yeah.
Actually, there's another question I've had. Since I've been hitting a bunch of bases this bounty, I haven't noticed it. But has anybody been seeing stacked walls?
I've seen a couple.
Okay.
Only a couple.
I haven't really taken notice, to be honest.
So, just to kind of reiterate what we're saying about what Saltwater's saying, this is verbatim from him when he sent me a message. The rules are a single hit. Yes, it will reset if the attacker loses, which we already knew. Some of the playtesters were resistant to it at first, but as they've played with it and made slight modifications, folks seem to like it as much or more than the original rules. My goal is to continue to improve the enjoyment and experience and worry less about specific details at this time. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. And the caveat I mentioned in the very first ROE post, if it goes live and it's revealed or reveled and no one likes it, well, I'll wipe the egg off my face and figure out how to roll it back. That's pretty much how it's going to go.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me, honestly. I mean, I'm not sure how bad it would be to have to roll the whole thing back.
Right.
Well, just the fact that he's saying that he's willing to do that is more than we've gotten out of kicks in the past when they released that shit and said, okay, well, here you go, just deal with it. Like Survival, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, BP next week. Monday, of course, will be the update notes. This update is going to have support for the April special event, Spring Reckoning, as well as 3 campaigns. High Seas Heresy, that's the campaign for your Zealot tokens and weapons and upgrades and all the stuff for your Zealot. You'll be able to use those and the Pegasus to do that campaign. Titan Rising and Sons of Poseidon. Tuesday, of course, we'll see the actual update, and the Spring Reckoning briefing will come out. That's going to be a special activity that containing a new Siege Co-op X target. And then there's going to be that's going to have T9 chests, Zealot skins, and a bunch more stuff. And then Wednesday is when the Spring Reckoning itself will begin. And somewhere in there is going to be the April CM diary with taking a look ahead at the start of the T9 assault season. So that's pretty much it for BP next week.
Mm-hmm. And I'm probably thinking they're going to do the same thing with that TLC for the Zealots that they did last time for the, was it the Punishers?
Punisher MK2s, yep.
Yeah, where at that mastery level, you'll be able to earn 10 more special or limited weapons. I'm sure the armors will be in there too.
The armors, I'm not 100% sure about. The weapons, I'm sure will be.
Well, the armors are in for the MK2, so.
Yeah. I'm wondering the build tokens we get, if they're going to be the full 1 days or if they're going to be the 12-hour ones.
You'll probably have like 1 days, and probably depending on how many prize packs they have, probably in the, like if they have 4, including the mastery, it'll be in prize pack 4. You'll have like a 1 day. But when you get to the mastery, they'll probably be the 12-hour.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Since we did have the extra FM week in there.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be nice and they'll change them from build tokens to upgrade tokens.
How's everybody's fleet coming along?
Well, I have 2 weeks worth of tokens saved right now, so when we get, I only have 1. I have a lot of tokens saved. I haven't spent much of them at all.
My third one.
But where's your fleet at, though? Is the question.
I think I've got two zealots that I have a partial build, which is essentially the one we're all sure on, with the 3 new specials and high velocity cartridges and eight limited scatters, MDS3, and then 1 of each armor.
Interesting. So
I'm
probably going to go more of the lower corrosive mounts than I am the cartridges, and I'm kind of torn on which counter I want to use at this point.
What are your options on counters? I thought
MDS3 or sprints.
I have been told by Alien when I asked, and that we saw it in the VXP target, sprints will 100% not work in this raid.
I've seen evidence contrary to that.
I talked to the guy designing the target, so
I understand that, but I'm just telling you, I've seen evidence contrary to that.
What have you seen?
I mean, I just don't
They
know.
were working fine in the VXP targets.
I didn't think they were. I didn't see them
They
shoot.
definitely were. They definitely were.
Alright. Well, I've got my one ship going to U2, and the rest are all U1.
So yours are all fully built already.
I'm waiting on the limited weapons to finish them. I have all the specials on them and the armor. And I'm going to U2.
I have 2 that are pretty much fully built, and I'm working on my 3rd one as we speak.
I've got 2 fully built. My 3rd one will be 1 weapon shy, and it'll be done in about 7 hours. And then, of course, I got my 4th blank I need to refit, but I'm going to probably end up just putting the specials and armor on it, waiting for the weapons.
Yeah, I'm short weapons for all of them for 4, but not drastically. So for me, I've put weapons on the 4 that I can. Now I'm going back through and putting specials and armor. And what one armor were you going to use on each?
I'm doing 2 and 2.
Okay,
I'm doing 2.
I was going to do 2 and 2. All right, good to hear.
I put 1 missile and 1 corrosive of the new whatever they're calling it, Z2 whatever's on. Yeah. I think if you auto, you'll take more corrosive damage. So you might want to go for a 3 corrosive if you plan to auto the whole raid. And then what I was noticing is that that all the missiles tend to target ships 1 and 5. So I was going to have those with 3 missile armor each.
Well, I mean, I'm also kind of waiting to see what to do with the flagship. If it's able to become a tank, where it can be mostly antis, then, I mean, that's the way I'm going to go with it. Which will probably counter the fact of having more missile armor on 1 and 5.
You had 5 built in time for VXP weekend, Derpy?
It's the last ship that was being targeted. So I had ships 1 through 4 full, but the last one in the fleet always gets targeted. Ren found the same thing in his testing that he took videos of in the VXP targets.
Yeah, it definitely seems like, once again, evade is going to be extremely important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been stockpiling on the 1-star Sea Serpents.
Yeah, I got a nice little collection of those going myself. Tell you, I also find it interesting how they said that high survivability was going to be extremely important, but yet you notice that the ship starts out with no survivability.
Right.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it starts in with some built-in auras, which gives survivability.
But every hasn't most of our ships had those, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely interesting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh well, all this time we said this was optional on the armor, and this was optional on this thing that gave you higher survivability, and this was optional for higher survivability. But now suddenly these things are a lot less optional since we're starting you with no survivability. I just found it interesting. But anyway, I think that'll wrap it up for tonight, unless anybody has anything else they want to talk about that we haven't touched on yet.
I just wanted to point this out. It's kind of ironic that our new Conqueror and the new Raid are both scatterguns.
Right? They can only do 1 damage type at a time. Ross, you got anything?
No. Keep staying safe, everybody out there.
Absolutely.
That's it. And have a good night.
Yeah. Don't get even though you can't actually go anywhere, just go outside and get away from your family every now and then.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
And I mean, now that some states are starting to reopen in phases, just remember when you're out, still maintain the social distancing.
Well, I was going to say, if some states are starting to open back up already, I see in, I don't know, about 3 months we'll be right where we are right about now.
I think you're exactly right.
But Simba, you got anything? Are you there, Simba? She probably fell asleep.
She fell asleep.
Yep. Derpy.
I'd save your tokens from your FM if you have the space until we get the flag, so we know what our builds look like.
Yeah, I'll be saving this coming weeks and the following weeks.
Oh, are you? Is that the really? Oh, that's a good plan. I wasn't going to do that. So from here on out, save your tokens, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that way you can get your flag out. Like I spent my ones from this week because I know we got 2 more FM weeks coming. So
Okay, good deal. That's good to know.
cool. All right, I guess we're wrapping it up. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching. As always, give us a like and go join the page if you haven't already. Subscribe. Make sure your notifications are turned on and all that happy fun stuff. I guess if you want to, we'll be either over on Battle Pirates Friends Discord or on my Discord. So feel free to meet us at either one of those places. Till next week. Later, guys.